I'm Noel with Noel's Frags, and today we have a very special box from Gay Paris. That's right, all the way from France, the brand new Creed Viking Cologne. Never before smelled, never before seen by anyone ever in the world. This is the first one to ever be opened. Let's get in. So the thing about this fragrance is there really wasn't as much build-up around it like there was Aventus Cologne, because everybody and their brother was hyped on Aventus Cologne. Aventus Cologne also wasn't released in like the year of the pandemic, so it's a whole bunch of custom bullshit. And so yeah, it's like this kind of snuck under the radar, and people didn't really know what all was going on with it. I was trying to find out more information like the whole time, and then all of a sudden it was just out and you could just get it. It hasn't been released in the States. It is over in the EU, and that is where I got it from. Boom. Got some samples in there. The samples kind of crushed my box a little bit, so that's all well and good. We'll take one of these strips. Actually, you know what? Fuck a strip. So this is our box. It came cellophane wrapped. The cellophane's kind of peeling off, but we won't hold that against them. So it's a desaturated red, kind of almost orange color on the box. Your typical Creed cards. Boom. So it has the same label and setup as Viking. I'll do a little compare and contrast with the bottles. This is the same texture. Atomizer. So this is the first time I'm going to be doing this. Okay, it kind of just smells like the packaging. We gotta spray, we gotta get the juices flowing. I don't know if you all know this or not. If you're tuning into this video for the first time, I talk about Creed Viking all the time. It's one of my favorite fragrances, so that's one of the reasons why I'm super stoked on this. Just to get into the presentation a little bit, actually. This is your Viking Cologne, a little orangey, and then boom, that fiery red. So you can see supposedly this is just a fresher take on Viking. Now we're going right onto the skin. So there's a lot of citrus up front. And it's nothing like the original Viking. It's fresh, it's clean, it's very citrusy. In the very beginning, I kind of got overwhelmed with a burst of sandalwood, like this sour sandalwood, which I'm not a huge fan of, not a big sandalwood fan. It always kind of comes off soapy to me and not woody enough. This is extremely citrusy in the open. A far departure from the spicy, much more subdued citrus. This regular Viking is not sharp in the open. This is very sharp, it's very fresh, it's very cologne, very much for the warmer months. I'm surprised they went under the Viking moniker. Maybe it'll change as it gets to the mid or the dry down, but like it doesn't smell anything really. Like, I don't know. Once again, this is the very first time like you guys are experiencing the first moments of this fragrance with me. This isn't really a review. It's just kind of I'm a giddy little schoolgirl. I wanted to check this out. I'll follow up with like a more thorough review. I'll probably wear this the next few days, try to shoot a video this weekend. But yeah, it's very fresh, very citrusy. Not a letdown, but I guess I was kind of expecting something more in the vein of Viking, and with it being one of my favorite fragrances, like you just kind of set the bar too high. And like I don't really know what this is yet, but it's not meeting or exceeding the current Viking bar in these brief moments I have had it. So it's nice. It's very fresh. It's very clean. It's definitely like a lemon lime. I don't get as much bergamot as like lemon lime, and I read a lot of people talking about mandarin orange. I don't really get orange. It's mostly just like lemon lime. I definitely smell the sandalwood. I kind of get notes of the spice like in Viking. Excuse me, I just ate dinner. Yeah, I'm kind of getting the spices a little bit. So I see it there in the mid. So it definitely has that like a similar vibe to the Aventus Cologne in a sense of like what they did there. Like they took a little bit of trace elements of Aventus and then dumped this like fresh Cologne DNA on top of it. And at the moment, that's kind of what I'm getting right now. Like that same formula, not necessarily the same components, but that same formula is what I'm getting. It's not like super complex, not super interesting, not as crazy. Like Viking's a little bit harder to get along with. A lot of people call this old manish. Viking Cologne, I do not foresee people calling it old manish. They might just call it uninteresting. Well, it's getting a little bit more of that Viking DNA as I'm letting it settle. This is a long take. This is just 7 straight minutes of me sniffing my arm, and I wonder who else is going to stick through this. It's probably going to get cut. I'm going to have to cut this down because no one's going to watch this. Alright, so I'm gonna let this sit, and then we're going to come back and maybe do a little more. Okay, so it's been about an hour since I did my initial spray, and we're going to do one more. Okay, 2 more on the other arm, and kind of compare and contrast. So okay, all right. I'm sorry. All right. This is a lot for me. This is like this is something I've really been looking forward to. So like I really get in it, and like all these thoughts are racing through my head, and like I'm mentally referencing all these other fragrances and like memories and notes, and it's just this like a fucking roller coaster of smells. So in the open, it's kind of muddled. Like the citrus isn't super great. Like I'm not a huge fan of it. Like on the initial blast, it smells kind of interesting. Then you kind of go through this weird thing in the open where the citruses are like vying for what's up front. I get a lot of like lemon lime vibes. I don't get the orange so much in the open, but on this arm, where it's like dried down into like the mids at least, maybe even some of the early base. You get a little bit of sandalwood, like nostalgic, reminiscent of kind of like a little bit of the Himalaya sandalwood, not nearly as soapy, and orange. So you definitely get that orange in there that it's mentioned in the note breakdowns and the reviews, and so it's definitely starts out as this kind of a little bit of a, in my opinion, kind of clumsy citrus. Like it's maybe not clumsy. It's just not my go-to. It is interesting and it's growing on me. So to tell you the truth, I really did not like Viking that much at first. I had a 10 milliliter decant and I wore it and I thought it smelled like Old Spice. Then I wore it again and it reminded me of my grandfather. Then I wore it again and I was like, yeah, this is okay, I guess. And then by the 5th or 6th time, I was just like, man, this is kind of good. And then now it is one of the few bottles that I've gone through almost entirely in like the past year. So I have about, I don't know, 25 milliliters left in this bottle. And I also use my flacon to decant and spray out of too. So I've probably gone through about 100 milliliters of this in the past year. Yeah, so just because I'm not blown away right now about this doesn't mean I won't get blown by it. Blown away by it. Oh, the label was kind of peeling up. Classic Creed. Man, every time. So as much of a Creed fanboy as I am well aware of their glaring shortcomings. So, very expensive house, not always the most innovative, but they have such solid DNA across the board, and this really is no exception. I feel like if I had sprayed on a little more, I just wanted to go with one spray just to kind of like see how it went. If I had sprayed a little more, I might have gotten some more of the spice. So like in the open, it's this citrus medley like lemon lime. And then it starts to go into like the orange sandalwood. But as it's transitioning from the citrus to the orange sandalwood, you get some of the spices that are in Viking, and it's still too early to smell them. But like I got it in the transition here, and I feel like if I had applied more of the fragrance, I would have gotten to see more of that transition from citrus to spice to like orange. I'm surprised the orange, honestly. Usually citrus notes don't last super long, and so it seems like this might actually hang around for a while. But yeah, these are just initial thoughts. I'm gonna give it proper wearings, come back to you guys with the facts straight. So I just wanted to, even if I don't make a video out of this, just record my own thoughts on this fragrance, because it was something I was really looking forward to, and I'm hyped that I was able to get a bottle. I'm hyped that it finally showed up, because custom sucks and it's been a week there. So yay, Creed Viking. I think that it'll do better than probably Viking does now, because I think it's very select people like Viking. You either like it or you don't. You either think it smells like an old man or you don't, and you really love it. So I feel like this won't be as polarizing. It's more middle of the road, not a super avant-garde, fragrance. It's very in line with Creed's, like, we make solid, fresh fragrances. So it's just kind of in line with that. And I think it'll probably sell well. It'll be well received. I'm going to hold off on any more, like, thoughts or opinions until I give some more time with it. Sorry, I've spent the past, like, forever just sniffing my arms. If you enjoy this video, throw me a like or subscribe to see more content. And as always, thank you so much for watching.